Anthony Rivera. Needs no introduction, but we're going to give him a chance to introduce himself anyways. So, Anthony, please.
Hey, how are you? Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on your great program here. Really excited to be here today. Uh, my name, Anthony Rivera. I'm the co-founder and managing partner of commercialrealestateboss.com. We are a national coaching, training, and mentorship commercial real estate platform that essentially helps residential real estate agents learn to do commercial real estate. At the end of the day, there's really no platform or anybody that, if you know anything about commercial real estate, it's a very inside world. It's You don't meet much commercial real estate brokers out in the general field. So we really want to help people learn this type of industry because it's almost kind of like an apprenticeship, if you will. And thankfully, from my past of working on Wall Street for over 10 years, for companies such as JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, Fidelity Investments. Then, as you know, the stock market being so volatile, I've said, what's something that's still dealing with big business, but a little more, slow and steady, relatively speaking. And so that was real estate, but of course, still wanting to deal with big deals. So that's commercial real estate. So we deal with very sophisticated investors, private equity, family offices, and such. And so with that knowledge and network and know-how, now we're bringing it to the masses. And specifically love to bring it to our Asian American community because we need more representation. And that's why I'm here.
Anthony, so maybe I think the question can go to you too right now too. Is this like what inspired you to get into your business? I know that you were in financial services before, but what inspired you to make the decision to go full real estate?
Sure. Yeah, it's everybody has a story, right? Everybody comes to where they are with their own personal experience. And my experience has been, so if I can take it back, when you go back to Wall Street, being 10 years there, working for various firms like, Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, JP Morgan, Fidelity, working in Manhattan, I actually worked at the Twin Towers World Trade Center. So I'm going to bring this back to the reason why we do what we do in coaching and training and paying it forward. Filipinos specifically, we're faith-based. A lot of us are faith-based, right? Very strong believers in the Lord and Mama Mary. Thankfully, I have that faith, and because that faith saved me on 9/11. When I say that saved me on 9/11, it literally saved me on 9/11 because September 10, I was going to work every morning, 8:30 in the morning on Tower 2 of World Trade Center on the 73rd floor. And so September 10, my mom says, Anak, don't go to work tomorrow. My brother and I, actually, we were a team over at Morgan Stanley as well. Don't go to work tomorrow because we're going to renew our passports for a trip to Our Lady Fatima. It will be our second pilgrimage to Fatima, Portugal. Her feast day is on October 13th. So I said, okay, Mom, let's take care of our passports at Hall of Records in Newark, New Jersey, and then I'll plan to go to work in the afternoon. So instead of going to work like I always do at 8:30 in the morning, taking the PATH train from Hoboken to New York City, every morning I went to my parents' house in West Caldwell, a suburb of New Jersey, 30 minutes away from New York City, and watching the pre-market activity on CNBC with my dad. So watching CNBC, the pre-market activity, all of a sudden you see Maria Bartiromo, who was then a journalist, and saw her on the stock exchange floor covered in white dust saying a plane just went through the World Trade Center. I immediately knew that I was blessed. I knew I was blessed. I was kept under shield of protection by my faith because there was no other rhyme or reason why I shouldn't have gone to work at Tuesday morning, September 11th, except because I put my faith first before being, a Wall Street stockbroker, right? Amazing. So I said, you know what? I can't be a regular Joe Schmo in this world. I got to make a difference. I got to help people. I got to pay forward these blessings. Here comes where, how can I pray to the Lord about how do I help people in their lives, immediately. And it dawned on me, divine intervention, help them make more money in their pocket, commercial real estate. What can I use my experience, my talents, my skills, my network commercial real estate, and now Commercial Real Estate Boss was born. And so at first it was one-on-one coaching and training before COVID, one-on-one coaching sessions. But then COVID happened, and which actually just the one thing that was possibly positive for COVID, well, from that was because now I was able to do webinars and now have students in 10 states and growing, because I've recorded my instructions, my tutorials onto webinars. And now we're as far west as Arizona and Oregon, as far north as Massachusetts, as far south as Texas and Florida. So thankful for that. And so here we are 6 years later, coaching and training and really making dreams happen, showing people something that they never thought they would even get into. Now they're actually doing deals in commercial real estate and really maximizing their license as well as their lives. So it's really, really thankful.
That's an amazing story. That's an amazing story. And I know that, I know that you've posted that story before on social media, so I've already heard it. But just having you say it again is amazing. So the question I have is it the belief in faith or just being a good son that really? You
know what? It's a combination of both. I would say I can't say one or the other, but if I had to, one is the faith, because thankfully I've been with my faith through my entire life, and so it was no question what I was going to do first. What was my priority? So thankfully I made the right decision on September 11th and decided to go with the route of Our Lady Fatima instead of going to work that morning, because I would have been running down 73 flights of stairs, and not even thinking that the end of the world is that day. So and that's when you go through that type of experience, you're grateful for your life, you're grateful for where you are, that you can do, and you want to share that. And that's what I do what I do. Wow. Nothing more, nothing less.
It's powerful, Anthony.
Thanks.
Yeah, it really is powerful.
I'm thinking about actually writing a book, to tell you the truth. I mean, faith and work together. I don't think I've seen anything out there that has put together the corporate life and faith together. So I might have to do something about that.
One of the things that I think everybody in real estate can understand, and this is not to make this a real estate show, but there's so many ties to it, is that you want to market locally, but you also have to know people. Have people outside of your local market also have to know you. You know what I mean? So there's quite a challenge in that. And Anthony, as far as your challenges, you want to kind of just share what you think has been the most challenging thing on your journey?
Yeah, sure. So, on the road to becoming an entrepreneur, for speaking for myself, you work for various corporations, and in my past, I've been, successful at some managers you didn't gel with. So, they let me go. So you see, so you either get fired or you get let go for one reason or another. There was one instance that I believe there was corporate retaliation against me. So, things when you talk about big corporations, you can't control who, if you're working for somebody, whether you have a job or not the next day. And I was just done with that. I'm like, you know what? You see the inefficiencies of certain companies and you say, you know what? I can probably do it better. I can do it better. Why am I, using my skill set of relationship building and giving it to a big multinational corporation where these are my clients? If I leave, my clients just get dispersed to other people that are still in the company. I said, no more, none of that anymore. I took what was good about each company, certain skills that I've learned from there, and built my own machine. And so that's why, I'm really, trying to help people that if they have the will and the know-how, hopefully through, what we're building here, to make their dreams happen, they should go for it. Try not to play life so safe that you actually forego your dreams. And so that's why, so that's my question, as far as inefficiencies in certain corporations, as well as, and you guys know about this whole adage about, if you're not doing, building your dream, you're building somebody else's, right? If you're not making yourself rich, you're making somebody else rich, their company rich. That really stuck with me, right? You only live once. You're only in your 30s once. You're only in your 40s once. You're only in your 50s once. Time, all of us have the same time frame. but we can't get back time, but we can always make more money and add more skills. And so by being an entrepreneur, you have that versatility and hopefully that impact outside of this kind of corporate world, if you will.
Amazing. And we're going to follow up with another question that was for you, Anthony.
Yes, sir.
Did your prior career in Wall Street help differentiate you in the commercial real estate world? And if so, how?
Yeah, sure. Well, Wall Street was all about concerns about the securities markets, right? The stocks and bonds and mutual funds, very volatile at times. I went through the tech boom and bust of the late 90s. Also, of course, the GFC crisis in 2005, 2015, 16, or 2008, 2009, I mean. So that's what I'm saying. It was just too volatile. Whereas, commercial real estate is really tangible assets, right? We're dealing with buildings, we're dealing with real property that can go from $30 to $2, like certain stocks, right? It does have its also, slight variations in value depending on the year, but on the long haul, if it's a good property in a great location, it will continually go up over time. So that was the big thing. But the main thing is still dealing with big money and big deals. So these are multi-million dollar deals. Right now, we're dealing with an office property in Midtown Manhattan that's we're putting in front of our clients. That's a $275 million deal that we're trying to convert it into a luxury multifamily, whether it's apartments or condos in Midtown Manhattan. So the deals are there. It's just a matter of being surrounded by professionals that will help get you there, like some of the people here on this, that I see on the computer. So
For sure. Yeah. Anthony, would you want to give some advice on how to do that?
Absolutely. Invite your clients and business partners to lunch, to dinner, some social settings. It doesn't always have to be at the conference table, right? The conference room. It was about 2 weeks ago. I invited about 3 or 4 of my colleagues, real estate colleagues, to go salsa dancing with me, and they came out and we went salsa dancing one evening. But so it's just building that relationship, right? Building that relationship, that rapport together, and then all of a sudden, business does come up during those times, and so we're able to discuss business. Just like how people go onto the golf course and talk about business. There is a way to put business and pleasure together. You just have to figure out the way how to do that. What's the commonality between all your colleagues and business partners?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, right, we'll do back-to-back questions for you, Anthony. How is working with a family member, and do you think it's wise starting a business?
There's times where literally figuratively we're at each other's throats. It's not easy. I'm sure people can tell you, and people who are gonna watch this later know that it could be challenging at times to work with a family member. But you know what? There's nothing better than building business with my brother. We're blood. This is something that you get from your parents. Take care of each other. Take care of your siblings, right? And that's what we do, especially in real estate, because when you're building like we're building a real estate empire. We're trying to build here, right? So you want to keep it in the family, if you will. Keep it in the family, and that's what we do. Why share? Do something outside of the family when both can see the value of building a business together. And so that's why I work with my brother. We do have to have times where we're like, okay, I'll see you later. We're working hard for each other today, all right? Which was actually yesterday. Yesterday, I went somewhere else. But yeah, you got to have those times. But the end goal is the same.
Ronnie agrees. He said, build a family legacy.
Right. Exactly.
I have a question for Maggie and Anthony. So first, I think one of the most pertinent questions that we have on our agenda is like, how do we go through hardship, and what do you do when you go through the difficulties and the challenges, and how do you come about it to stay faithful, stay positive, to see that the light is at the end of the tunnel? Like, I'm sure you guys have both experienced some really difficult hardships in your lives. And could you share what you did and what helped you get to that other side so you can see the light?
Keeping your eye on the prize. Recently, we did a what we call a commercial real estate boss intensive session in the field the other day in Plainfield, New Jersey. And one of my students actually is a Filipino American, learning commercial real estate from me in the field. His name is Vince Diesel from Remax down in Toms River, New Jersey. And then his wife was, while we were doing the session in the field, his wife is waiting in the car during the session while we were having the session in the field. And then we were at a multifamily development, touring it. And then we were passing by the car, and I wanted to say hello. She came out of the car, and guess what? She's 6 months pregnant. 6 months pregnant. So right there shows me immediately that I'm affecting families. I'm trying to help somebody help build their family and help them to hopefully set up financial security for their family, and seeing the next generation in her belly. That's showing that I'm doing something worthwhile here for her dad, for Vince. That's all I needed to see. That's all. I mean, I can tell you countless examples of text messages and thank you notes and things like that, but that hit home right there. Seeing that there's a little baby right there going to be born, and his dad is learning commercial real estate from him. Nothing more than that.
That's
Awesome.
That's commitment, for sure, on both sides, right? From your
absolutely.
student and also you, Anthony. So yeah, that's amazing. Charles and Art, really wanted to just thank you guys for hosting today and being available to be on the show. We have some comments. Antoinette, thank you so much. I know everyone did great. We'll hopefully bring it again next week when you're hosting the show. Ronnie, thank you so much. And Ronnie said great advice. And Ronnie's a business owner, accomplished business owner on his own, and he's just watching this to learn from you guys. So really appreciate it that everyone's here. So hey, we're almost at that hour. I can't believe it's been an hour already, but man, you guys have been amazing. So thank you so much. I'm going to sign off. This has been Filipinos in Live. Make sure you tune in next week. Next week we're going to have some more amazing guests that you can get educated, inspired, and empowered from. So thank you so much, and we'll see you again next week.
Hoy pare, pakinggan niyo ako. Ito nang tunay na